Between Friends by Michelle Stimpson. Micah wiped her eyes dry and got ready for school. She had to carry on until she knew for sure whether or not she was pregnant. Micah ate her second cereal bar while she waited for her friend Alicia to arrive. She could only hope her increased appetite was a result of nervousness. As usual, Alicia picked Micah up for school in the green Nissan Altima that her doting big brother Chris had given her for her 18th birthday only a month ago. So, Alicia asked as Micah hopped in the front seat. Still don't know, Micah sighed. Okay, we're going through with the plan, Alicia said. We're going to go to the store and get the test. Then we'll go to our morning classes because I've got that exam in English that I can't miss. We'll sneak off campus at lunchtime, skip the afternoon classes so we can go back to my house and you can take the test and find out if you're pregnant. I don't want to take the test, Micah declined. Let's wait another week. That's what you said last week, Alicia said as she turned left onto Bradley Street and headed towards school. We've got to know for sure. I don't need to be skipping any more classes, Micah said. I'm going to have a lot of makeup work to do. My grades are going down. Hey, Alicia reasoned with her, that's because you haven't been doing your work in any classes for the past few weeks. You've been worried to death about whether or not you're pregnant. You have to find out, Micah. It's not going to go away. Maybe it's not there, Micah tried to give herself a ray of hope. Well, there's only one way to find out. Right after fourth period, Alicia and Micah left campus as though they were co-op students. Micah sat in the car as Alicia went in to buy her pregnancy test. Moments later, Alicia gave Micah the thumbs up as she came out of the store with a package under her arm. Alicia smiled. Micah couldn't help but smile back. Alicia was always cheerful. Girl, Alicia remarked as she started the car, that thing was almost $13. She casually tossed the package to Micah. I owe you one. Micah sighed as she took hold of the box. You owe me $13. Micah turned on the radio and tried to take her mind off of what was happening. She wished she could go back and replay the Saturday that started this whole mess. It was supposed to be one of the best days of her life. Alicia's 18th birthday party at the Summit Suites downtown. Chris rented a room and threw Alicia a big bash. The only problem was Chris wouldn't let anyone drink alcohol in the hotel room because for the most part, their friends were under 21. This didn't pose too much of a problem because many of their friends didn't drink, and the ones who did would just get their drink on before they came to the party. Chris really didn't care what they did outside of the hotel room so long as he wasn't distributing the alcohol. Micah was a casual drinker. She drank on special occasions. At first, she was a little disappointed that Chris was being so strict about the alcohol, but after their friends Eric and Raphael told Micah that she could just meet them in the parking lot and drink in the car with them, it didn't seem like much of a big deal. Sorry. That night, Micah made the first few trips downstairs to the car with either Felicia or Maria. After the second trip, Eric decided to come into the party with them while Raphael remained behind. A little after midnight, Eric began to worry about Raphael. Hey, he said to Micah on the dance floor, I'm going to go check on Raphael. He hasn't come to the party all night. You're right. Micah's slurred speech seemed comical. She laughed at herself. Wait a minute. Y'all got any of some more of that gin in the trunk? Yeah, I think so. I need only one more of that gin, she grinned. Help yourself, Eric smiled at her, and bring Raphael back up with you. Okie dokie. Micah gave him a full smile and raised her right hand just above her eyebrow to salute him. In all honesty, Micah didn't remember much of what had happened once she got back in the car with Raphael. She started out by asking him if there was more gin. They laughed, they kissed. One thing led to another, and now all of this mess. Skipping school with her best friend to take a pregnancy test and find out if the rest of her life was going to be forever altered by the events of one Saturday night. Have you told him? Alicia asked. Huh? Micah jumped out of her memories. Told who what? Have you told Raphael? No, she shook her head. I don't want to get him all worried for nothing. Well, you're worrying, aren't you? Yeah, you know I am. Okay, well, he needs to be worrying too. It takes two, Alicia reminded her best friend. But what's the use in having two people worry over something that might not even be true, Micah reasoned. I don't mean it like I want you to tell him so he can worry, Alicia explained. I'm just saying that you don't need to be in this all by yourself. Little things like buying the pregnancy test, those are things that he should be helping you out with. Please, Micah threw her hands up. I don't need any more pressure, okay? I'm sorry, Alicia apologized. I just don't understand why you haven't told him. You two are friends. We've all been friends for a long time. You did go out with him a few times last year. Why don't you just tell him? That's exactly why I won't tell him right now. You're right. We are friends. All of us. Me, you, Raphael, and Eric. I care about Raphael. This is a pretty rough time for him. Basketball season is coming up. Those scouts are always coming to watch him. He's really trying to keep his grades up so he can get an acceptable score on the SAT. He's really struggling. I've had to help him cheat on tests a few times in Mr. Goodman's history class. You know, if Raphael flunks history, he won't be graduating on time, and he'll probably lose any chance of going to a Division I college next fall. That's why I haven't told him. I don't want him worrying about something that we aren't even sure of yet. Suit yourself, girlfriend, Alicia rolled her neck. But if I thought I was pregnant by somebody, I would tell him straight up the moment I had a suspicion. Well, maybe I'm not pregnant. Alicia approached her house carefully. She checked on the alley to make sure her parents were still at work. Okay, they're gone. She put her car in park, and the two girls rushed inside. Alicia followed Micah all the way to the bathroom door. Okay, Micah looked at her best friend and raised her eyebrows. Can I have a little privacy here? Alicia waved her arms in the air. Just go pee on the stick. After all the lectures and all the warnings and all she'd seen her own single mother go through, Micah herself was now officially pregnant. She sat down on the toilet seat and buried her hands in her face. Micah felt she might as well have been dead because she saw her whole life flashing in front of her. Micah thought to herself, it's October now. That means the baby will be here in July. I could still graduate on time. Micah sobbed at the thought. Was that all she had to look forward to? Graduating from high school on time? What about college? What about the rest of her promising future? Micah, Alicia called from the other side of the bathroom door. Are you okay? No, Micah told her. It's positive. Oh. Alicia tried to think of what to say next. I'm sorry. Micah stuffed the test into a plastic sack and placed it in her purse. Slowly, she got up and opened the door to face the one person who wouldn't be totally crushed by the news. I really am pregnant. Alicia hugged Micah. It's going to be all right. Really, it is. How can it be all right? How? I can't tell my mom. I can't tell my grandmother this. It will kill her. I told you, I'm supposed to be the first person in my family to go to college. I'm the one who has the brains. I'm the one who's supposed to make everybody proud. The only bad thing I ever did in school that anyone ever found out about was the time we got lost running the mile in PE. I didn't make you follow me. Alicia leaned down to look at her best friend in the eyes. But that worked out pretty good, didn't it? We're best friends because of that mistake, aren't we? Alicia always had a way of helping Micah see the bright side of things. Thanks for being there, Micah said, wiping her eyes. Okay, Alicia said, let's get this plan together. When are you going to tell Raphael? Now is as good a time as any. All right, guys, go ahead and go back to the hub and click on Between Friends Part 2 to listen to the rest of the story, and then you can answer your questions.